Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Knowledge Bytes. So today we are exploring one of the most important topics in generative AI, that is hallucinations in large language models or LLMs. So as AI becomes increasingly integrated into the enterprise applications or chatbots or assistants and decision making systems, understanding a hallucinations is critical. So these incorrect, confident responses can impact trust, reliable, and business outcomes. So in this episode, you will learn what hallucinations are, why they are occur, their real-world impact, and how AWS services like Amazon Bedrock help reduce the hallucinations. Let's get started. So by end of this episode, you will have a clear understanding of what AI hallucinations are, why large language models produce hallucinations, the different type of hallucinations, their impact on the real world applications or business, right? The practical techniques to reduce the hallucinations, and finally, how AWS services help produce the trustworthy AI systems. And these concepts are also highly relevant for the AWS AI Practitioner exams. So now let's understand what exactly an AI hallucinations. A hallucinations can occur when an AI model generates information that sounds accurate and convincing, but is actually incorrect or fabricated or unsupported by the facts. Unlike a search engines, an AI doesn't retrieve the verified information from the internet by default, is everyone knows. So instead of, it predicts the most likely next word based on the patterns learned during the training. So for example, if someone asks who invented AWS in 1998, the model might confidently generate an answer that sounds believed, or even though it's completely incorrect. The important point to remember is that the model isn't intentionally misleading anyone. It simply predicts text based on the probability. So now let's understand why hallucinations happen. Large language models are fundamentally prediction engines. Everyone knows this. So that's, they don't understand facts the way humans do. Instead, they generate text by predicting the next most probable token based on the patterns it learned in the training data, right? So hallucinations can occur for several reasons. So the training data may be incorrect or outdated, or the user's prompt may be vague or ambiguous, or the model may lack of sufficient context, or it may simply not have access to the trustworthy external information. So without a mechanism to verify facts, the model can generate responses that appears completely logical but actually incorrect. So now let's understand the hallucinations versus human errors. So people often compare AI mistakes to the human mistakes, but they are actually quite different. Human make mistakes because they misunderstanding something, or forget information, or lack of knowledge. However, humans also recognize uncertainty, right? Or ask questions or learn from the feedbacks, right? So large language models behave differently. They generate responses based on the statistical probabilities, and they don't actually know whether an answer is true or false. As a result, they may present incorrect information with a high degree of confidence. So that's one of the biggest challenges when using the generative AI in the real world applications. So now let's get to understand the type of hallucinations. So hallucinations generally fall into four categories. Factual hallucinations occur when the model generates incorrect facts. Citation hallucinations happen when invents books or research papers or websites or reference that doesn't actually exist. Okay, numerical hallucinations involves incorrect calculations, statistics, or financial figures. Finally, logical calculations occur when the reasoning appears convincing but but ultimately leads to an incorrect conclusions. So recognizing these different types of the hallucination help us to choose right mitigation strategy, right? Okay, let's get to understand the real world examples. So let's look at this some real world examples where imagine a medical chatbot providing incorrect treatment recommendations, right? Or a logical assistance or sorry, a legal assistance citing court cases that never exist, or financial advisor generating the inaccurate investment data, or a customer support bot investing in or inventing product features, right? Or in every case the responses may sound professional and trustworthy, but it's still incorrect. That's why AI generated information should always be verified before you being used in a critical business decisions, right? So now let's understand the business risk. So hallucinations aren't just technical issues; they are business impacts or business risks. Incorrect AI responses can reduce customer trust or damage brand reputations or create compliance issues and even result in a financial losses. In regulated industries like healthcare or finance or governments, in hallucinations can have serious consequences. Organizations therefore need strong governance, monitoring, and validation process before deploying generative AI into the productions. So let's understand how to reduce the hallucinations, right? So fortunately, hallucinations can be significantly reduced. Start with writing clear and specific prompts. We learn in the prompt engineering, and provide additional context whenever it is possible. Ground the model using trusted organizational data. Use retrieval-augmented generation, commonly known as a ROC. So implement human review for every for high-risk decisions, and continuously evaluate and improve model performance. Rather than eliminating hallucinations completely, the goal is to minimize risk and improve reliability, right? Okay, next. So understand this one. So one of the most effective technique for the reducing the hallucinations is retrieval augmented generation, that is called RAG. Instead of relying only on the what the model learned during the training, RAG first retrieve the information from the trusted sources such as a company documents or knowledge bases or databases. That retrieved information becomes additional context for the model before generating its response. As a result, answers become most accurate, more relevant, and significantly less likely to hallucinate. We will explore RAG in much greater details in our next Knowledge Bytes episode. So, now let's understand the Amazon Bedrock features to reduce the hallucinations. AWS provides several capabilities that helps reduce hallucinations. Amazon Bedrock enables you to access leading foundation models through a fully managed service. Knowledge base Knowledge bases connects models to trusted enterprises information using a retrieval augmented generation. Guardrail help enforce safety policies and prevent inaccurate or unwanted output, right? Or inappropriate the outputs. Model evaluation and customization allow organizations to continuously improve responses quality response. Together, these features make it much easier to build trustworthy AI applications on AWS. Now let's understand the the use case. Let's consider a practical example. Suppose an organization builds an HR assistant using a large language models without accessing to a company policies. The assistants might invent leave policies or benefits informations. However, by integrating Amazon Bedrock knowledge bases with retrieval augmented generation, The assistant retrieves the official HR documentations before answering. This ensures employees receives accurate, current, and trustworthy information. This is exactly how many enterprises are building reliable AI assistants today, right? So let's get understand. So before we wrap up, here are some important examples. Remember that hallucinations are confident but incorrect output. Large language models predict text, they do not verify facts. Retrieval-Augmented Generation is one of the most effective techniques for reducing the hallucinations. Amazon Bedrock knowledge bases provides grounded responses using the enterprise data. And guardrail help improve safety, reliability, and responsible AI usage. If you remember these concepts, you will be well prepared for the AWS AI Practitioner exam based on the questions you are getting to you are getting into the exam, right? Now, key takeaways. Let's quickly recap today's episode. Hallucinations are fabricated or incorrect responses generated by large language models. They occur because LLMs predict language based on probability rather than the verifying the facts. Right? Organizations can reduce hallucinations using better prompts, or retrieval-augmented generation, or trusted data sources, or Amazon Bedrock knowledge bases, or guardrails and human oversights. Building trustworthy AI isn't about expecting perfection. It's about combining the right technology, reliable data, and responsible governance. In our next episode, we will take deeper dive into the ritual augmented generation, that is RAG. See you exactly how it works to improve the AI accuracy using the external knowledge. So thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.